Hi all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So this week's video is a painting vlog, as you would have guessed from the title by now, and we're actually working on this piece. If you haven't seen my latest YouTube video, then I do suggest checking it out because it just shows the sketching process that goes into creating this, and then this week's vlog is going to be all about the gouache process part. So today is Sunday the 19th of January and it's almost 8 o'clock in the evening, so I'm just going to get started, but we're just going to be doing the background for now just because I've got work tomorrow morning, and then I'll catch up with you in a few days time to see how we got on. Okay, so I thought I would actually show you the paintbrush I'm using, the pipette I use to prep all of my gouache, and the 6 Windsor and Newton colours that I use for this piece, as well as the swatch that I reference for the background. Now that is actually one of 4 different backgrounds I had tried out, but that one was just my favourite. I preferred the colours and yeah, just the overall composition of it I really enjoyed. And I've actually been smart this time and I've put myself a smaller sample piece of paper of the paper that I'm working on, which is the 100% cotton paper, and using it to swatch out my colours before I put them straight onto the background, which is a first, and honestly it's made such a difference because it means that I'm not putting down colours that are too bright or too dark or things like that first, which means that it's a lot easier to control what I'm doing with the background, because let's face it, once you've put those colours down, there's no changing it. So, oh my gosh, this background, I love it so much. It's just really simple layers of watered down gouache onto the 100% cotton paper. And I really didn't think I was going to enjoy it this much. I was pretty exhausted, as you saw from the introduction part. I look pretty worn out there. And I was doing it because I knew I had to start this piece and I wasn't really looking forward to it. But once I got going, I really enjoyed it. I think partly it's the materials that I've used. There is something to be said when you enjoy the materials, it makes a massive difference to how the process goes. So in this instance, I'm using my favourite brush, which is listed below, but it's a polar brush. Well, it's a Pro Art polar brush, I should say, in size 8, and it's a round tip brush, and it's my favourite type to use because you can use the very tip of it for small details and then the rest of it to just put in big swathes of colour. So it's perfect for doing this first colour blocking stage. And it is an acrylic brush, but I've been finding that although technically watercolour brushes are better for gouache, I've been finding that I've been struggling to manage the amount of water that they hold. Whereas an acrylic brush, because it holds less water, I find it a lot easier to manage. So yeah, I mean, I could go on about it for a while, but I just prefer this brush, and that's been a recent discovery for me. Overall, oh my gosh, the other thing that I loved about this was the paper itself. I was really surprised by that. I really didn't think I would enjoy it. From my previous video where I experiment with the different types of paper, this was my least favourite, but I have to admit I have come to love it. I love the textured quality of the paper. I love how that texture can show through, and if you just control the water better, you'll find it works really well. But I must stop gushing about this background because we are about to move on. But yeah, I love it. Okay, so it's now Thursday the 6th of February, so it has been forever since I've worked on this piece, and I am really pleased with how it's looking. I love the background, the way that's working, the colours on the clothing works really well as well. So I'm hoping to get her completely finished today, just because it's been so long and it just needs to be done, and I need to get over this whole dip in motivation that's been happening, and that's a way to start doing it. So we're going to get this done and get everything edited and voiceover, all of that business done today, and hopefully work on a little project my brother's got me doing, which I'm not sure when that video will be coming up, but I am going to do a video of that as well. So yes, busy day ahead, so let's get straight to it. Okay, so I did mention the fact that my motivation dipped a lot when I was working on this piece. Basically, there was a lot going on with a lot of other things, and I kept coming up with loads of excuses. But not only was I dealing with quite a lot of stress at the same time, I was also actually quite scared to finish this piece. I don't know if anyone else has kind of felt that when you think you've done amazingly well, and it's all working out really good, but you're scared that if you carry on, you're going to mess it up in some way. And I was absolutely terrified that if I started on the face, that I would completely overwork it and just ruin what I'd done. And I loved the background so much, and it got me so excited to be doing art again, that I was just terrified of ruining it and then feeling completely awful because I had ruined it. And honestly, it was really, really hard to get over that, I won't lie. And it's something that I think every artist will encounter at some point, is that fear of ruining something that you've spent so long on. So even here with the mouth, I really thought I'd mess this all up. So I went in with my much smaller brush, again I'll have that listed below, just to neaten everything up and lighten the edges of the skin tone around the mouth, so it didn't look quite so much like she had been eating raspberries or something. But yeah, I was terrified to start this piece, and the only thing that really got me back into doing it is by realising that I normally have my art YouTube videos ready a good 2 weeks in advance, and the realisation that it's Thursday and literally Monday this video has to go out, and I am busy Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I was like, I literally have today. There is no point being scared of this anymore. I just have to get it done. And I want to get remotivated and back into doing artwork anyway. So let's just do it. And so I just bit the bullet and went for it. And I'm really pleased I did. Again, I use the same technique that I've spoken about plenty of times when it comes to creating my faces, using colours from the background. I do the same in her hair as well. You may not be able to notice it very well, but I do actually have green in her hair. And the brown was created by combining the green, blue and Naples yellow all together to create that brown colour, which made it work really well with the background, because those 6 colours that I showed you at the start of this video are still the same 6 that I'm using throughout this piece. And that's another tip for just making sure everything feels cohesive, is by using the same colours throughout it. A limited colour palette actually works really well for making your pieces feel like they all work together, simply because you don't have so many colours that nothing works because you've thrown too much at a page. But yeah, sorry, I am completely rambling about that. But yeah, so I work on this hair quite a lot. For those little strands, I've actually found that if I use a slightly drier brush, it creates that loose strands effect a lot better. So I am slowly working on my hair. I still need to improve it a bit, but it's one of those things that it's just going to be practice. And I find putting down a base colour and then working over the top with different varying shades helps bring body to the hair. And then by using the slightly drier brush to put in all the loose strands, make it seem not quite so stiff. So now I'm working on the dinosaurs, and I actually stick to quite monochrome dinosaurs. I don't use, I can't even say realistic colours, because let's face it, dinosaurs are completely extinct and who knows what colour they were. I'm sure loads of people do, but it's not something I've ever looked into. But I just decide to go for colours that I feel work with the piece. So I stick to a more green background for the one on the right, and then I stick to like a sort of grey brownish colour for the T-Rex on the left, and I really like those colours. Again, I'm going in with my small liner brush just to put in all the smaller details and the darker lines, again making sure the brush isn't that wet. It just really works for this piece. And finally I finish up with some white highlights with my Posca pen. I really do enjoy working with Poscas and gouache together. They just layer up so well, and white highlights really do just help finish off a piece and pull it all together. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this piece, and we have the masking tape part, and you guys, it didn't rip once. Like, I don't know whether I've just got better or whether the fact that this 100% cotton paper is just paper sent from heaven. I really don't know what to tell you. All I can say is that it didn't rip, and I am really freaking happy with that. So yeah, but no, overall I absolutely love this piece. I hope you love it just as much as I do. It's definitely been the piece I needed to get me back into doing my art again. So yeah. Okay, so we're at the end of the video. Thank you so much for getting this far. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. Yeah, this Dino Girl, honestly, I never thought I was actually going to finish it, just because of that dip and motivation that's been happening, which is why it took me so long to get it done. It should have been done within 1 week of when I first started it in January, but obviously it's taken me quite a few weeks to actually get the motivation to get this piece finished. But I'm really pleased I stuck it out and I actually did finish this. You wouldn't really realise it because I do my YouTube videos so far in advance, but this one is actually finishing the Thursday before it's due to go out or get ready to go out, so quite short timing for me. But yeah, I'm rambling, so I'm just going to cut it short. I hope you've enjoyed it and I'll see you in next week's video.